Boom! Back like we left something. What is going on? Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gym into Crypto, episode 131.
130.
Today is Tuesday, March 27th. I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish.
We're right on it.
Right on it. We've been at 10 like for the last 4 episodes. People, we are on it, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Before we start, thank you, Canadian Crypto. You know I'm about to give them a shout out to. Before we start, everybody at home or at work, go ahead and take that bottle out of your drawer.
You already know.
I know some of you people could have some terrible work lives and stuff. It's cool. Keep that bottle in the bottom drawer like old school. And let's pour one up for Bitcoin Zay's birthday today. Happy birthday,
yeah.
Bitcoin Zay.
Appreciate you.
Cheers, cheers.
Yes, sir.
You know, Bitcoin Zay, he's been out here in these crypto streets for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Glad to be.
Old man today.
Yeah, I'm old in crypto years. So I'm like 72 in crypto years.
And then another shout out again to Decentralized yesterday. Decentralized is dropping all types of tips on us. He dropped Bitcoin Zay a huge birthday tip yesterday. So much appreciate that again. We saw it as we were clicking off. We want to make sure we acknowledge that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate that, brother.
Are you taking off the stunners?
Yeah, just for now.
All right.
Got to see the people that's joining in on Facebook. It's kind of dark.
For the I forgot to put one more thing in the title. For the free Bitcoin yesterday, who won it?
All right. So for the free Bitcoin, shout out to TVid. Your comment about should we accept OneUpCoin because it is a platform that's used through Coinbase. We are, we haven't been very, on that side.
We aren't Coinbase friendly.
We're not Coinbase
all.
friendly, yeah. So honestly, I liked his comment because he said, we actually use centralized platforms like YouTube for now. And, it's one of those things that you use what you have to get what you want. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to accept it, but we will probably definitely move it off the platform immediately. So, yeah, thanks for that comment, TVid. We'll be sending that free Bitcoin to you.
And I also lied. Today is episode 132. So there's that.
I wanted to keep the flow going, so I didn't correct.
All right, appreciate it.
Good.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That is a real friend and business partner right
that's
there.
That's like calling too many fouls and pickups.
Right.
Man,
I actually put it right. I put it right on the episode title. I didn't say it right.
Yeah, you're going to risk up the floor of the game. Keep
calling
fouls.
What I mean? Everybody, look, when you go into business, take notes. He like, I'll grab you after the show. We'll talk about it. Just let you know you messed this up.
Yeah, it's all good.
Much appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So one of the things, that's why I was actually bringing up the title. We didn't put in the title, but one of the things we want to briefly go over, and I can't remember who sent it. It's either Sergeant Crypto or Crypto Q sent us a story last week, or at least a YouTube for the person to go after to see it. Can't remember who, but there was a guy on YouTube. He blew up actually in the past week or so. He already had a good following, but his following just like shot up because he was talking about the Petro-Yuan that launched yesterday. So if you don't know, of course, for the last however many years, 40, 50 years, there's only been the petro dollar, where the United States dollar has been the main backing of everybody's currency, of course. And, we use that to buy gas. So China, for example, wanted to buy $100 billion worth of gasoline that they did last year. They would have to do it based off the USD value worth, right? When Saddam Hussein tried to get off the dollar, we know what happened to him.
Wasn't pretty.
Gaddafi tried to get off the dollar, the back dollar. We know what happened to him. So now, finally, after all this time, China has decided that they launched a futures for the petro using their yuan. This is huge news because it now, we're not seeing it right now, but it does, at least mentally for them, devalue the dollar. So there's something to look at as this year continues, because if the Petro-Yuan contracts continue to, yesterday get off to a good start, but if they do well throughout the year, then the dollar will be devalued because people will start going off the yuan, especially in the Asia Pacific area.
It's not looking good.
So huge news.
Yeah.
And of course, that fits into the crypto space because if the dollar is devalued, even a little bit we know right now, because we see all these cracks happening, if it does get devalued, then what happens next? People are going to start running.
Yeah.
They're going to run from the
not
banks.
Not going to want to use the US.
Run from the stock. And where will they put their money into?
Oh, yeah. It sounds like we have a backup option now.
I think we have a backup option.
I believe that backup option is good old Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which we are currently using now. That's why we try and tell people it's pretty early.
Right.
This is
it's
just
super
the start.
Early still.
Yeah, it's still very early. Because this is just the start. And, shout out to all the kids in 4th grade out there that are watching us from that class. What you're seeing in your lifetime, most of you all are 9 years old, so you've never had a life without Bitcoin, so you don't understand. But some of the older people, they remember if something bad happens, there was no backup, but now there is. So honestly, I think this is good for Bitcoin going forward. We may have the initial shock of, how people, don't have enough money to put into it. But once people start to see the emperor has no clothes, you always you know the result from there, because once people can use that, people start talking about gold, silver, a lot of different commodities to invest in. So Bitcoin is naturally going to be one of them.
I'm seeing some great comments. All right, first, CryptoQ, exactly. The Chinese Petro-Yuan is a trade war. Exactly. The trade war just started yesterday, people. And even bigger for Bitcoin, what it could really mean, not only the U.S. dollar gets devalued, the Chinese yuan, they had to have something backing it. Clearly, they haven't been using gold. They've been using the USD, the United States dollar. So I wonder, what's the thing they've been mining all these years? What's the thing they're trying to create on their own? What will they have to back their yuan one day? Wonder what's out there. But anyway, so that is another reason why we're bullish on Bitcoin, as always. Either the Chinese crypto, or they're going to go, I think they might actually pull out the tricks and say, hey, we're going to back this by Bitcoin right now. Because they have more than a lot of people.
They've been mining it forever. So.
And then Jamal J, to your comment, you know you can't be talking like this. Jamal J said you better believe African bases are going to see some action. I have said that literally for the last 2 or 3 years to people. I think I've actually did live a couple times too. For those who don't know, AFRICOM is where the African commanders are for the U.S., but not only the U.S., Russia's in Africa, China's in Africa, everybody's in Africa, and that's why I personally think the next world war is going to be fought at the physical world war, because no one wants to do it in their own country. They want to go tear up Africa. So Jamal J said you better believe the AFRICOM base is going to see some action, and the reason why is because that is a great and a close staging ground to China. You know, you can't go from the U.S. just straight to China. You got to have jump points. So, yes, those bases probably will see some action in the next few weeks to months, depending on what happens. So, there's that.
It all goes together, people. That's what we're trying to show you, because these world events, they do affect Bitcoin,
Torrance J Playlist, I am with you. We talked about this yesterday. Torrance J Playlist said this is why they banned crypto in China. That's what I think, too. I think they were like, listen, we're not banning it. You know, no one saw that until really yesterday. It's like, we're not banning it because we don't want you all to use it. We're banning it because we need to save this as a way to back what we're trying to do, Petro-Yuan and everything else moving forward.
They got a ton of gold too. So like I said, they got their resources.
So again, something to definitely pay attention to, because I mean this is bigger than it's bigger than everything. This is literally, if the Petro-Yuan takes off, let's say in the next 6 to 8 months, and other countries start using it, it will be a war. Period. There's no way around that, because it's like it will have to be a war. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody said, definitely. I agree there.
The U.S. will invade
Ghana. The U.S. will invade West Africa in 2023.
Listen, it's so much stuff. There's so much stuff going on in Africa. Believe it. We know. All right, top crypto story, though. CBOE Futures, CBOE, recommends that the SEC allows Bitcoin exchange traded funds. What is going on with CBOE? Well, back in the news.
It looks like you have one set of alphabet boys telling another set of alphabet boys that you need to leave Bitcoin alone and basically let them trade futures. In my opinion, it just shows, like we said, they've been butting heads on different ways to call or what to call Bitcoin, how to use Bitcoin. And this looks like another edition of we don't know what we're doing, because honestly, they're just, SEC may want to stop it, and then CBOE is like, oh yeah, we actually have a stake in it. That's what I think, is that, hey man, we can make a lot of money off of this, get your hands off. After watching Billions long enough,
we know how they think a little bit.
Confirms, a little bit of how, they think it's not really, we want to throw you in jail. It's just we want our cut too. So I'm sure they'll probably work this out with the exchange traded funds, because it looks like, we've seen news that NASDAQ may add it this summer. We've seen different companies that are already gearing up to bring in institutional investors. I don't think it's going away. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, the crazy thing is if it goes through good or whatever, but it's crazy that it takes a letter from CBOE to do it when the Winklevoss twins have been trying to get ETFs going for at least 3 or 4 years now. And again, for those who don't know, ETFs are kind of opening up to retail investors a little bit more, so those mom and pops who can't put their money in the market. So again, we're looking at some of these main people like LedgerX and these big institutions, Goldman Sachs. They're trying to bring in these institutional investors, but the ETF will actually allow for the retail investors. So again, everybody's looking at that price every day. Everybody's worried, the dips. 2 things. First of all, you talk about volatility. The traditional stock market is officially volatile. I mean, it's dropping at historic lows and cranking out historic peaks in one day. Come on, that is volatility. It's going up and down 3% in the last 4 or 5 days.
Who would have known?
Right, who would have known? Again, it's another crack you want to watch out for. But as far as ETFs, again, or in the bullish sentiment of Bitcoin in the future, the reason why we're not worried about price right now is because these things aren't here yet. People are still fighting to get these things here. But when ETFs roll around, when institutional money can really flow in like they wanted to, I mean, hey, the price will adjust accordingly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was very important because he wrote a letter. When's the last time you wrote a letter?
he mailed it with his stamp.
Yeah, with his quill tip pen.
I couldn't think. I said stamp, but I was trying to think of that quill tip pen.
With a feather on the end. Yeah.
Coinbase paves the way for new altcoin support with ERC20 upgrade.
Oh yeah.
How about that? I know those tokens were shooting up on the exchanges this morning. What's going on with that?
Yeah, and yesterday too, we saw some of these tokens that were getting some traction as far as being added to Coinbase. Even though they denied it, they have said that they intend to support the tokens on their platform. Haven't said which ones. And for those of you who don't know, ZRX was one of the big ones, or the biggest one they were talking about, maybe added. And ERC20 tokens basically enable you to have smart contracts and to use digital tokens. They can be airdropped or they can be distributed to different investors or people who buy into the ICO. So if they allow that, that kind of is leading into what Coinbase is trying to do anyway. They have an index fund coming. They have GDAX already going. So we can kind of see that, if they really allow support and they start allowing a lot more ERC20 tokens, I'm kind of anxious to see how they go about doing it because Bcash was so sketchy. Good gracious, come on, man.
Sketchy, come on. That's an understatement.
That was one of the craziest weeks ever. But, I'm interested to see how they will onboard this process if they allow not one, but maybe like 10 tokens, over the course of the year, which isn't, that crazy because there are a lot of tokens that have gotten traction ICO-wise. But ZRX does look like the first one that, people kind of paid attention to. So we'll see.
That's pretty
ex-employees, they keep saying ex-employees are part of ZRX. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see. It's most of it's just speculation.
Listen, and to be honest, people, we're dissatisfied with Coinbase from a community and a user experience standpoint.
Yeah.
Now, outside looking at him from a business standpoint, Brian Armstrong, listen, he's doing what he's doing what he got to do. Do I agree with it? No, because I think you can still. Here's what a lot of business don't understand, which I think the decentralized nature of this ecosystem is going to kind of bring out. You don't have to be a shark to still make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You could do the right thing. You could help all that stuff. Yeah. Like he could have very easily built up his support and built up all the infrastructure, done things the right way, and still made a lot of money, even more, I think. Because
could have just listed Monero last year, like they thought.
right.
But not yet. You're right. Yeah.
So from a business point of view, I'm not mad. I understand, but just from a user experience community, it's just like, dude, you're the same. You're doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. A couple comments I want to go to real quick. First, Timmy T, let's give a shout out to Life School Oak Cliff 4th grade class. They're always watching, and they're always keeping us in check to make sure we don't go too far, all right? So thank you. And then another comment, Anya92. Do we think Trump is using the tariffs to force China to get rid of the Petro-Yuan? Makes a lot of sense now, right?
Yeah, now you see why.
Those tariffs came out the blue, kind of the people. Everybody was wondering what was going on. And then yesterday they decided, they decided they already had a plan, but yesterday they launched the Petro-Yuan. So I think that is one of the reasons. I mean, we have to show a sign of strength, and by we, like the 10 people in one room that speaks for everybody.
Yeah. Just remember, they don't just do stuff.
Right.
Come on, man. If something like that comes along,
something's happening.
Something's up.
And then the decentralized, he said, are we thinking about going to Consensus 2018 in New York? We are, and speaking of which, we haven't put the link down. We'll put the link tomorrow for tickets. We will actually be at World CryptoCon this year in Las Vegas, October 31st, I think November 3rd or 4th. I know they got a lot of speakers, a lot of good headliner speakers. I think even Vinny Lingram, contraindicators on there as well, so it'll be cool to meet him.
Yeah.
And we'll actually as of now, we're on the schedule to speak at the event. We won't be one of the main speakers. We'll be hosting something else there, sponsored by the event still, so... with that, they gave us all types of links for you all to get discounts and all that good stuff. So we'll be unrolling that out tomorrow once we get some confirmation on a couple last things. But as of now, we are speaking at World CryptoCon in Las Vegas.
Centralized said he'll be out there. He said he just booked a huge booth for that with Smart Cash.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. We'll see you out there then. We're about to meet you. Yep, we'll be there as well. So we will be there again. That's World CryptoCon, people. Don't buy your tickets yet. We're going to put links and stuff up so you can get discounts and all that good stuff. And it's during Halloween in Vegas. If you've never been to Las Vegas during Halloween,
it's scary.
It's a good time. You said scary? It's a good time. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, I love this story. I saw this. Let's see. It's kind of cut off here on the page. Let me see if I can fix it up a bit. But 6,000 South Korean outlets to make cryptocurrency available by Q2 2018.
Ooh, yeah.
Huge news. Huge news as far as that bullish sentiment we always talk about. Here, let me widen this up so you all can see the article. You know, these different websites.
Yeah.
There we go.
Seems like when people come up missing and people start doing, they start passing out different flyers and stuff. Like, yeah, we actually going to allow crypto here.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
So it looks like a partnership between major South Korean cryptocurrency exchange Bithumb and mobile payment service provider Pay aims to make cryptocurrencies. I'm assuming do they mean BitPay or just Pay? To make cryptocurrencies available at thousands of stores across the country. According to Korea Times, the two partners will work together to bring cryptocurrencies to 6,000 outlets by the first half of the year, with the planned expansion to 8,000 by the. Yeah, this article needs some proofreading. It's 80,000, but it's got a comma after the 8. So either 8,000 or I'm assuming 8,000 by the end of the year. Furthermore, some 200 franchise brands are also reportedly signing onto the initiative, enabling cryptocurrency adopters to use Paves mobile payment service to make payments in crypto. Again, people, this is all it takes. All you have to do is wherever you spend your hard-earned money at, you go there as well, and you tell them this is what we want to pay with. They will figure out a way for you to pay with it. Japan did it already. I think it's in over 300,000 merchant stores now in Japan, illegal there, and now we look like South Korea is following their lead as well. So that is going to be huge.
There's people saying they're going to start claiming South Korean because they get it done.
Might as well.
I told you they love their crypto in South Korea, and honestly, East Asia is not playing with adoption. You're right, Harold.
Right.
Honestly,
I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think we've discussed it before that in order for this to work, the people have to actually want it. If you sit around and you speculate on it, you don't actually use it, or you're not using it to pay for anything, it won't, emerge as a currency. South Koreans took it to heart, and they have, 30-35% of their country is using or wants to use crypto. So not surprising to see there. And I'm glad it's happening, actually. So
yeah, I mean,
we can follow their lead.
I was just about to say, there's two countries. That's two big countries, Japan and South Korea. Who's next? And that is literally how it's going to work. And next thing you know, it's going to be 2 or 3 years from now, and people are going to be saying, "Dang, I should have bought it at $8,000."
Yeah.
It looks like here the story says Bithumb has also partnered with South Korea's largest hotel booking platform in recent weeks to integrate cryptocurrency payments.
Oh yeah,
those are huge news.
Yeah, those of you trying to use like Airbnb, it's coming. Trust me, when you can pay for that with crypto, they already got it for Expedia. So travel is going to be real simple.
And for our podcast folks, you can find that story on ccn.com. Most of the stories we try to talk about, because we know these are the mainstream ones most people see, do come from Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, CCN, a couple other places. But so that's where you can find that story today. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Even better news, also on ccn.com. Nelson Mandela Golden Hands collection goes to Bitcoin exchange.
That's what we got to toast to the guy.
Right? I was about to say, if you don't know who Nelson Mandela is, go ahead and look him up, people. Great man, tried to fight for a lot of good stuff. Good quote here, always seems impossible until it's done. I think that's a great quote for crypto right there. It always seems impossible until it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin's too slow. It's too expensive. It's like you just found out about 3 weeks ago. Why are you complaining?
I know, right? What should I do in the market?
The bank is worse. Nelson Mandela's hands were immortalized by how he changed the course of history. I'm not going to read this whole story, but the important part of it is he has a bunch of gold artifacts, some of which are gold hands. You can see right here the board of arbitrage is buying what's believed to be the last remaining set of gold artifacts compromised of Mr. Mandela's hands for $10 million in Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! There we go.
Good number. Right
yesterday we covered the NFL Super Bowl player, I think it was Super Bowl 50, who was selling the Mickey Mantle cards for like $3.5 million. And he said he'll take crypto for any form of crypto for it as well. Now we're seeing Nelson Mandela's gold artifact hands being bought for $10 million in Bitcoin. I think it's safe to say regular people, maybe not government and regulators, but regular people are starting to see the power, and they want their money back in crypto. Yeah. They don't want you to give them dollars or won or euros. They're like, just give me the Bitcoin or whatever. We'll figure out the rest. Brother. Yeah, we'll figure out the rest.
And they said it was, real lifelike impressions of his hands in gold. I wonder if they kept that little bit of ash every black man gets every time you go outside. Just keep that in there.
Man, this guy.
That's lifelike right there. My man Nelson Mandela.
Did you say I wanted to keep a little bit of ash?
Yeah, that little bit of ash that comes every time you go outside. But the payments, they'll be coming in different quarters. $2.5 million each, which is still a big movement of Bitcoin. But honestly, like we said, with art And you know, this is definitely in the art category with any type of nonprofit with donations. You honestly can't stop people from sending Bitcoin, so you might as well use it. If you have anything of that nature, might as well use it. Good to see it happening. So
there we go. All right. You know what? Make sure you all smash that like and share button while we get everybody's attention. There's a ton of comments rolling in. I'm trying to keep up with them. I'm laughing as I read some of them. But yeah, I mean, and this is what we love about the comment section. This is a part of the crypto community ecosystem I think a lot of people miss out on who don't look into the day-to-day or week-to-week. But I mean, there's so many people in here with so much information. Like everybody knows a little bit about something, so it's great to see all that come together. Let's see. Who didn't hire that many people? Somebody said Zay didn't hire that many people.
Yeah, I was going to say Coinbase.
Oh,
not
Coinbase,
for 10 tokens.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for real.
But we'll see over the course of time how many they add in total. Because, you know, for a platform that big and they only have 4 right now, you know, we'll see how many they add going forward. You're right.
Another article, we was all over CCN today. Bitmain has developed an Ethereum ASIC miner, Wall Street analyst claims. Now, we kind of talked about this before. It was like a year ago. I'm not sure we did it live or anything. But, of course, our in-house technical expert, Bitcoin Zay, is about to go into detail. What is going on with Bitmain and Ethereum ASIC miner? If you all remember, we were talking about the ASIC miners yesterday, which basically can find an exploit that help you mine Bitcoin faster as far as when they try to use it on Bitcoin. They were trying to do it from Monero. Monero said, we're going to redo some of our algorithms to make sure you can't use that miner because it may centralize mining. And now it looks like a Wall Street analyst came out and said, well, Bitmain actually developed one for the ASIC ones.
Yeah, which is, you know, crazy because we were just talking about the billions thing where the actual analysts were finding the chips.
Yeah. And then you see this in the story the next day.
Very next day.
I think the same, all right, whoever this Wall Street analyst is.
Chip makers, NVIDIA and AMD. Yeah.
Well, whoever this Wall Street analyst is that's talking to CCN, I'm assuming this is the same one that talked to billions and got the paycheck. Because it makes, you're right, that connected dots.
Just out of nowhere.
The same Wall Street analyst right here is talking about an ASIC miner that no one knew about for Ethereum. And now on billions the other day, they had it too for it. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, well, this is a battle between 2 big companies for one and 2 big ideas. Because, you know, Monero had their push for GPUs. Honestly, so that it wouldn't get rid of them because we know when you have ASIC miners, they're way more efficient and they can kind of push out that market. And with Ethereum, it was ASIC resistant. However, if this miner does work and, you know, it does go forward, AMD won't have much business selling GPUs. And with the amount of miners that are coming out now, that, you know, 10%, 20% loss for a business is a lot at this point. So we've seen these companies grow. We've seen the infighting, but the miners themselves, I think it won't, you know, take away from their business long term. But I think for the time being, if you can't use GPUs or if they're not as efficient as ASICs, then you have a problem there. So Bitmain is just kind of strong arming right now. I mean, they've been doing it for the last, I don't know, year or two, trying to get their way. But, you know, Bitmain is in cahoots with Bcash. They're in cahoots with, you know, whoever they're with. So, yeah. Right.
And this actually quote him. So it looks like they did put his name in the story. It looked like he wrote a Monday note to clients. Susquehanna analyst Christopher Rowland. I've definitely probably said that name always. Susquehanna analyst Christopher Rowland said that the firm had recently confirmed that the China-based Bitmain, by far the largest producer of miners that use ASIC, basically application-specific integrated circuit chips, is just months away from shipping the first miners compatible with eHash. The proof-of-work hashing algorithm used by Ethereum. And he had a quote basically saying, during our travels through Asia last week, we confirmed that Bitmain has already developed an ASIC for mining Ethereum and is readying the supply chain for shipments to quarter 18. Rolling the note, according to the CNBC report.
Yep. You're right, CryptoQ. Yeah, they tried the same thing with Seagal. They tried to mine everything. Same thing with Seagal, same thing with Bitcoin. They're trying to mine everything. But it's crazy because that's literally the opposite of what cryptocurrency is about. But people agree that you can't stop, you know, humans.
Well,
it's always going to be humans.
And again, we all know you like to hear the investment advice and all that good stuff. So from an investment point of view and a business point of view, again, remember all these trends and cycles usually take about 2 years. So let's say they are releasing this stuff, they're getting all these chips together and they're trying to make, you know, we talk about South Korea making it available to 6,000 merchants in the first half of the year and then another 8,000 by the end of the year. People, all this stuff, look to another 2 years. As Bitcoin Zay has already pointed out, the halving happens in 2020. There is a reason why this rush is happening right now to get all this out, this market competition. Everybody's trying to see who's going to be number one, where the chips are going to fall. Because once 2020 happens, that halving happens, I think what was going to happen is because that the price of Bitcoin or the worth of it will be worth more if Bitcoin continues its trend and is on that path. Then companies will literally be able to just shut down other ones.
Yeah.
Like you won't have enough money to even compete at that point. So I think right now they are throwing their chips out in every direction. Miners, whether it's new, Coinbase doing new things or different companies. Electricity.
It's countries getting in on it by providing spaces for people to mine because they're like, well, yeah, mine as much as you want, but just pay us taxes. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna use our electricity.
So yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Oh yeah.
This is a huge one too. HBO Silicon Valley gives nod to Bitcoin in opening title intro. So that marks like the third major show. We talked about billions yesterday. Talked about Big Bang Theory a while back ago. Speaking of which, when we were at CIAA for the career fair, I would say about 6 or 7 people that came up to us all knew crypto from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
it was crazy. It was like, go ahead.
And people think it's not real, but I tell people whenever it hits mainstream, it's gonna have to go through mainstream shows because people actually watch it. Even though I never watch TV, we never watch TV ever.
Right.
There are people that they get a lot of stuff from the mainstream shows. So I thought more people would learn about it from the movie Dope.
Yeah, nobody.
But it wasn't that mainstream.
Right.
But Big Bang Theory, of course, millions of people watch.
What's funny is I didn't expect a lot of Southerners from North Carolina to be watching Big Bang Theory, so that kind of caught me off guard when they were like, "Yeah, I saw Big Bang." I was like, "You saw Big Bang? Like
you watch Big Bang?
You 22 or 19 in college, or whatever? Like you watching that?" But
go outside.
So it looks like HBO Silicon Valley. And I saw a couple episodes of Silicon Valley. Not my cup of tea, but it's pretty good. I mean, it did have some good twists and stuff for the few episodes I saw. It's basically about smart people in Silicon Valley, incubators trying to start. Companies 3 or 4 people living in a house, how the old Silicon Valley way of doing things that works. But it looks like on their intro, I believe it was yesterday, they had a cameo there where they had the Coinbase logo.
Yeah, that's tight.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, again, it's one of those things. Here we go. I'm bringing it up now. It's one of those things that's pretty cool because adoption. People are going to look and say, "What is this?" But again, that's 3 mainstream shows. 4 if you count the movie. 4 main things. And again, this is that bullish sentiment. It just takes people to find out what it is. The people who saw this for the first time, they're going to go through the whole thing when they look into the market and then get bit by the crypto bug for the next 3-4 months.
John Oliver, people like that bringing it forward.
Right.
The more people see it, definitely.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
CryptoQ said the TV was spoon-feed Bitcoin to the masses, teaching them how to do everything. Exactly.
Yeah. And honestly, this actually legitimizes it because the more people see it and hear about it, the more you're like, oh, so this is a real thing now.
Right,
even though it's been real for us.
I thought somebody told me the other day, well, I'm not even going to say, I forgot we got the 4th grade class, about the thing that was on the blockchain that was like, So everybody was like, I thought this was all Bitcoin was doing.
No.
Here is a very funny story. Steven Seagal is back in the news again. Steven Seagal and Bitcoin with the 2 I's, founders leave project as ICO ends. Now, I like, exactly. Exit wombs, now exit scam. I was about to say, I like how, this is on Cointelegraph, I like how they framed it. They're polite because, allegedly. They said leave project as ICO ends. But I say let's call it for what it is. This is a exit scam. For those who don't know what exit scam is, that's what you do. You scam people into space, and then you figure out a reason to leave, and this is it. So you started this great ICO on this project, you want to leave. Their reason for leaving is that the cryptocurrency project Bitcoin with the 2 I's, 2 Gen, announced that its founders and brand ambassador Steven Seagal are leaving the organization following the completion of an ICO because they said they wanted to remain truly anonymous here.
Come on, bro.
You want to remain truly anonymous?
I'm sure you do. Well, it's like the people who own BitConnect. They want to stay very anonymous.
Right.
But, yeah.
As I know, he said BitConnect. I just called
it very anonymous. But, yeah, it's funny. It's Steven Seagal. Just right now what people are doing is grab a celebrity, bring them on. Hopefully people will jump on it, and, they'll invest with us. But, honestly, this was such a joke. I mean, from the beginning, it's Bitcoin with 2 I's. Are you serious?
Right.
And then they said it's not a pyramid scheme, but it's a pyramid on the website.
Or a multi-level marketing company, as they say here.
Like, what do you even... Yeah, and some people, you can get a few million out of that. It's not, I'm just going to grab a celebrity and do an ICO, boom, get a couple million. And then we're going to exit because of, we want to keep it open source. Like, come on, man.
This statement is funny. They said the project responded to the multi-level marketing and pyramid scheme allegations, saying that their pyramid-shaped commission structure of the staking and referral program will only be operational during the ICO. I like how they didn't say no in any of that. They didn't say it's not a multi-level marketing company or pyramid scheme. They just said that will only be available during the ICO stage. And we see why. Because after the ICO, we're out. We're gone.
Hey, we got islands to buy.
Right. From Team Seagal, here he is on Twitter back in February when he was just talking about the worldwide ambassador. I don't know. That's pretty funny.
And I would be surprised to hear what he thinks about it. Because I bet you he doesn't even really know what's going on. I bet somebody brought him this idea, maybe a family member or somebody close to him was like, hey, we could do this quick ICO, they'll pay you $1 million. And he's probably like, all right, yeah, tweet it out. I don't know.
They launched in January 2018 with a goal of a $75 million soft cap.
Ambitious scammers.
Right? That's ambitious. Well, hey, business, they like, all we need is 3%, guys.
Yeah,
we need 3%.
Somebody A1 does put push you to death coin.
You said, what's that?
Push you to death coin.
Oh,
that's all Steve Seagal do.
Yeah, I want to know.
Professional pusher.
Again, when it comes to Steve Seagal and all these celebrities, I want to see what happens. You know, if the SEC, they decide to still come down on people, what's going to happen?
Where's that money going to go?
Where is that money going to go?
Chuck Norris and Claude Van Damme, yep.
And last but not least, all right, so we weren't going to initially report on the cybercrime gang stuff you heard about, Russian-Ukrainian cybercrime gang arrested in Spain, but a lot of dots were connected, and then, of course, the biggest one, allegedly used Bitcoin to launder $1.24 billion. Wow.
That's too high a number.
Again, this whole scamming thing is an industry. It is crazy. It's becoming an industry. I actually saw an article the other day that said it's more profitable to like...
be a hacker.
Yeah, it's more probably to be a hacker than to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm like, 2017 it definitely was. It looked like 2018 is on the same track right now.
Yeah.
But it looks like the Spanish police have arrested a cybercrime gang made up of Russian-Ukrainian nationals who are allegedly involved in stealing more than $1.24 billion from financial institutions worldwide, subsequently converting their illicit gains into Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's really interesting in this story to me is we kind of talked about it before. I think his name was Alexander Finnick or whatever. But he was a Russian national who was in charge of, or allegedly in charge of BTCE, which the U.S. called on Greece to arrest him or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, he was laundering money. And, of course, all that traced kind of back to the Mt. Gox hack years ago when billions of dollars went missing. So this is one of those things where, all right, we're seeing more Russian and Ukraine nationals. Again, this is allegedly. This is what the news we see are reporting. Everybody else is seeing. Because who knows? There's always more at play. Yeah. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? It's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, honestly, when you have what they call cyber financial crime, one of the biggest things I look for is where is it coming from? And as we can see, it's starting to come from the same places. And I think what you can start to see is that these quote-unquote criminals, they're not alone, man. Like, these people are not making billions of dollars, just out of the blue at a private, institution.
Right. Somebody's getting an inside tip.
Somebody's getting an inside something. So, usually when I see these stories, it's like, okay, where's it coming from and who's actually behind them? Because most people, these exchanges, a lot of the ways money is moved in Bitcoin, it can't happen without some sort of help. We already talked about NSA spying, seeing what's going on in the blockchain, and we've already seen exchanges get taken down because of so-called money laundering. So it's got to be something else at play here. And with this much money, 1.24 billion, like I said, this is becoming bigger, and it'll only become more. And also always, where's that Bcash? That people have that Bitcoin, they never talk about how much.
Yes, I keep forgetting about that. You are right. No one ever talks about Bcash.
That's always my third question.
That is, what's that, about 20%, 10%
yeah,
price?
Something like that. And most people don't bring it up, but I'm telling you, it's going to come out the
Somebody keeps, I think that might be like that's what they talk about the G20. And all these worldwide meetings, they're like, listen, when we confiscate Bitcoin, keep the Bcash. Keep the Bcash. Keep the B, and the Bitcoin gold.
We're gonna pump it to the sky one last time.
I got Burrow. I got Burrow. I got him on 3.
We're gonna do an exit pump.
Right.
Thursday at 6.
This is a pretty good thing they put in the story too. Back in February 8, 2018, of course, last month, Thai police arrested a Russian citizen, Sergei Medvedev. Probably mispronounced that all the way. Who's said to be the #2 person in an international cybercrime organization and administrator of the dark website Infraud, where they had when he was arrested, they say he had over 100,000 Bitcoins, roughly about 820 million. If you have almost $1 billion and you get arrested, you deserve it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Should have got out the game, homie.
Way too many resources.
Should have got out the game.
All right. For the free Bitcoin day, what are we doing?
Oh, for the free Bitcoin, man. Just send me some happy birthday wishes, and what do you think I should do for my birthday, and I'll choose one of the best ones.
There we go. All right, he likes to be funny, so choose something funny for what he likes to do for his birthday.
Funny. Oh, yeah. And send a gift. That always can get you some free Bitcoin as well. So
and shout out again to Kevin Hart. I talked to him today. Kevin Hart's at my gym. He works out next to me at the same time every day. So I was like, we gotta get you on the show. He's like, well, I was like, we'll talk about it. You'll know soon enough. So hopefully we can get him out here one of these days too. All right.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, you know, you can listen to us on Spotify, Google Play Music, and Apple Podcasts. And we will see you all tomorrow at the same time of 10-ish.
10-ish.
Okay, I thought you were going to do 10 for a second. The way you look. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, decentralizing. Oh, my goodness.
Appreciate it, decentralized.
Decentralized. Much appreciated.
Glad to be 29, brother.
There we go.
Appreciate you.
Take care, everyone.